Hey, just want to talk to you guys today about this Bushnell Wireless Trail Camera I have here. As you can see, it's the Trophy Cam HD. This is the 2017 model here, not to be confused with the new model that came out with 2018. And I've had this thing for about a year and a half, and this thing works great. I put larger flashes in it so it can send a lot of pictures to me and has a lot of storage. I also have it connected to a solar panel that comes around and down over here, and I just set mine on the ground right here. As long as you position it so that leaves can't land on it, it'll last a long time, and I get months and months of operation out of it, sometimes maybe 6 to 7 months before I get to check this camera. And it just keeps sending me pictures and all is well, and I don't have any issues with it at all. So occasionally, because I get about 50 to 100 pictures a day, I get a notification saying that the battery gets a little bit low every once in a while, but then the following day after it charges from the solar panel here, that message goes away, and I don't have any issues from it at that point of view. So it's a great camera. This particular model here, I'll step back here, you can see is mounted to the tree, and I've got this one set up in picture mode, and I also have an impulse camera above it listed because I also like to get videos. That fills up pretty quick though when you have 50 to 100 deer or 50 to 100 pictures coming in a day, so that flash fills up pretty quick. So you can see the setup that I have here, and just with these posts that go into the trees, just want to be cautious with those because some state parks don't allow you to connect those to trees because they won't let you screw anything into a tree. So that's just something to have in mind if you're someplace where you're not allowed to do that. So these are pretty easy to set up. So they do take a lot of batteries because if you look inside of here, you can see that it takes 12 batteries. If you don't have the solar panel, you're probably going to get maybe 300 to 500 pictures uploaded. I've never really tested it. This has been out here for probably about a week and a half, and I think I've probably had maybe 300 pictures uploaded by that point, maybe even a little bit more than that. And I got a notice going back the other day saying that it was at 27%. So it's just food for thought that you do have a limitation there. And you can see here it has the serial number up here and all the different model number stuff up there for you. And if we go in here, I can show you how to program it. You just flip it over one switch here, because if you look there, you actually have two switches there. So if you look right there, you can see that switch. And I'm sorry this isn't coming in focus so well today. Then you can see inside of here the menu screen here and how to program it. So you go down here and you hit the menu button, and then it brings you into a menu, and you can put your phone number in there, or you can do an email address depending upon what you'd prefer to have. I personally have it set up to go to my phone number, so I get a text message, and that text message gives me a link going into their webpage where I can look at the video through there, and that's the way I have mine set up. If you just go through the menu here, just using these arrow keys, click OK, menu. So you hit the menu button, and then you use these arrows to push over. Like right now it's set into camera mode, and then you also have the video mode in there. You have 14 megapixels. Then you have the wide screen over here, which is what I have it set to for taking my pictures. How many pictures it's going to take, you can set it up from 1 to 3 pictures depending upon what you choose to have. If you keep arrowing over here, then you have the LED control. I have mine set to high because I want to get as much light on the picture as possible. If you had them to closer, you might set it to a low or a medium, but I leave it on high because my setup is about 20 yards away from this camera, 15 to 20 yards away. So I want to make sure that I get a good picture of them. And it covers a pretty good field, so it actually goes pretty far from the left over there to the right over here, and I get a really good field of view using that setting. So now we continue to go over with our arrows here. There's the input one where you can give it a different name if you want to give it if you have multiples of these running. And then we click over here, then you can see it has the resolution to the pictures. And I'm sorry, this really isn't coming into focus very good. This isn't the best camera for this particular application. We go over here, it has, if you're running video, it asks how long you want to run the video for, and you can adjust that length. And then it has the interval between the pictures or the videos that are going to be shot. I have mine set to 1 minute. That's more than enough for me at that rate. I get sometimes 50 pictures a night. I have had almost upwards of 100 pictures sent to me in a night if they're really active. So you just want to have that as a variable in mind depending upon how much time they're going to spend at your feeder or wherever you're setting it up. If you're in the middle of the woods, you might set up for every 15 seconds to see who's coming through as part of a group versus me, watching over a feeder here. I don't need to have a setting at that level. Let me go in here. What's this one here? Sensor level. I have mine set to auto. Let it automatically figure out what it wants to do. That's how I have mine set up. I've had mine set to low. The problem I see when I set mine to low is that with the wind, you actually run into a lot of issues when you have a windy day. And it'll take a whole bunch of pictures and send you a whole bunch of pictures of wind blowing stuff around, trees in the background and stuff along those lines. So that's something that you might want to just keep into consideration if you want like my video one, I usually have to set my video one up here to low, and the reason I set that one to low is because I find my video flash just filled up with videos of leaves blowing when there's a windstorm that comes through. So it's just food for thought. You might want to play with it and just figure out what's best for you as you watch your videos, but you can adjust that setting going up and down. And then we get over here. Next one here is going to be NV shutter. I have mine set to low on that. I can't remember what that's for. Camera mode set to 24 hours because I do want to get those pictures at night and during the day. And then they have the format option here, and I have to put a new flash inside of here to format this. But you always, whenever you put a flash in here, you want to make sure that you format it through the software on this way at least it formats it the way you want. With some of my cameras I've had some issues where I formatted it at home and I threw it in these. I think I might have had some issues with it, but I'm not 100% positive. It's just food for thought. If you format it through the system, then it's going to be great and you won't have any issues there at all. It's just a foolproof way to get it taken care of. So, and avoid issues. And then just continue to go over here, and now it goes into the timestamp. So you want the timestamp on so you know when it happens. And then it has the clock set if you have to set the clock. If your batteries went dead, you always need to make sure that you check the clock. I've experienced where on all of mine, that it drops the clock setting, so you have to reset the date, time, and the year and everything in there. So, and then over here we have field scan. Field scan is a setting where basically you tell it how frequently you just want it to shoot a video, a picture of anything there. So some people set up for every hour so that no matter what, you get a picture every hour regardless of whether it picks up motion or not. If you have a big field out there, that might be something to consider doing so you can see who's in the field. But this just shoots over this corn feeder that I have over here, and it works really great from that point of view. So, but if you need the field scan, it's a great thing to have there if you need it. And then you have coordinate input. I'm not sure what that is. I have to check the manual on that. And then video sound. So you want to have the video sound on so you catch the sound of what's going on in the background. And then image recycle. This is another really important setting to have here. So basically, if your flash fills up, the image recycle is basically going to make it record over whatever's there. I will tell you that I haven't had the best experience with that. I find that when it gets to the point where it has to record over them, that the camera seems to misbehave a little bit. So it's just food for thought. Just if you're having issues, then just change the flash out or put a flash in there big enough to accommodate as many pictures as you're going to take. So let's continue to go through and see what else we have here. And then we're back to wireless mode on. So you want to have it in wireless mode. So you can turn it off so it won't operate in wireless mode, but it's something that you know, it's a wireless camera, so why wouldn't you? But I can understand the situation where you might have a scenario where you wouldn't. And then just jumping over here. Transmit request, I have it set to quick, so it'll send the pictures up quick, and you can also set it to never. And then default settings here where you could just format everything and get rid of everything on the thing. So you go back to manufacturer settings, you have that option too if you mess it up and you can't figure out where your problem is. All right, and then you have the version of the flash that's on there, and back to the camera mode. So it's pretty simple. To go the next step, you just flip it over to the on button, which you slide over one more time, and you close it, and then just latch it down. And that's going to start sending you pictures. So I love the setup. I've had it for quite a while. This unit's probably about, I'm going to say 15 to 16 months old now. Camera looks a little bit dirty there. So it's not something that's overly new. Works really well. I've been really, really happy with it. And it works. And I've had points where I have limited access where I can get down here where I am, especially when I'm in season. I own an exterior cleaning business. So pretty much from the middle of March until like some point in July, I'm usually head down working on doing exterior cleaning. So I usually can't come here for about 4 to 5 months. And as long as the feeder stays full of stuff, I keep getting pictures of deer, and it works great. And this is my feeder setup over here. It's a little bit unique. I want to have a demand feeding system where they could take what they want instead of having it constantly drop stuff down. You can see here where a tree limb actually fell and broke one of the things, so I have to order a brand new one of those. But I put the this other feeder on top of it, so because that's a 200-pound Boss Buck feeder that I have right there. The one above it is, I can't remember the name of the one that's above it, So that's the protein feeder portion of it, but that's only good for 200 pounds. Then I have an American Hunter set up above it, which is 350 pound capacity. And what it basically does is it continues to feed from the 350 pound one down to the 200. And they basically have about 500 pounds worth of food in here. One thing I would recommend for these type of setups here is they have a funnel that can go inside of these where it actually brings it in on an angle to force it down in. I would recommend getting the funnel for these if you're going to buy one of these American, what's the name of it again? American Hunter setup. So it just forces it to get down there instead of a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't actually make it down. And I actually taped mine on the inside of that so that so nothing can get around that funnel, which forces it down. So just food for thought. On the days where I come down and hunt, I knock a whole bunch out of it, just grab a couple of handfuls and knock a whole bunch out of it, just to get a lot of deer activity on the days I'm down here. And you can see I got some white gourds around here too. So that's just my setup. So I also have another setup over here, which is pretty great because water is a really big thing. And my house actually has pipes that go out here into the woods. And if you look over here, these are from the roof gutters. And just basically took a kid's pond and put it in the ground here, and this just constantly feeds it. And the deer come and drink some water out of it, and it's just something to keep them in the area because there's no really good source of water around here minus that. I mean, there's a retention basin in this community where we are, but that runs out of water pretty quick. Okay, so back to where we are. And you just turn it on and then just adjust the angle to where you want it to be so you can have it in the field of view of what you're looking to capture there. And you can also walk in it and take a picture, and if you don't like where it is, you can adjust that on the spot to make sure you have it centered the way that you want it to be. Okay, and I love the Bushnell cameras. I've had nothing good and nothing bad to say about the Bushnell cameras. I've had very good experiences with them, and I'm very happy with them. And like I said, this one's about 15 months old. I did try to order the new model that came out in 2018, but there definitely was some supply chain issues with getting that out to people. So I didn't actually get that in, and now we're kind of approaching the end of the hunting season, so I actually canceled that order. And we'll just see what happens next year and see if we can get that for next year and set up in another location. All right, please do me a favor and like this video and hit the subscribe button and post something positive for us. Google loves it when people hit the like button and post positive stuff about a video that they watch. So if this video has helped you out in any shape, form, way, or manner, please do that for us. It just helps us and it makes Google really happy. And like I said, hit the subscribe button and you'll see the other videos that we post, and hopefully you can enjoy those videos too. Thanks a lot and have a blessed day.